We're diving into the incredible world of the 2005 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny. Spoiler alert, this tiny little coin could be sitting in your pocket, worth up to $5 million. Yep, you heard that right, $5 million. Stick around because you won't believe how a simple penny could make you a millionaire. Now, let's talk about the 2005 no-mint mark penny. This is not your run-of-the-mill change that's floating around in your wallet or stuck between the seats in your car. Nope. This bad boy is a rare gem in the world of coins. Here's the deal. In 2005, the U.S. Mint produced pennies, and most of them had either a D mint mark for Denver or a P mint mark for Philadelphia. But there's a teeny tiny super rare group of pennies from that year that were minted without any mint mark at all. You can imagine how that little omission makes these coins stand out. Now, just to clarify, it's not that the mint forgot to stamp them. It was actually a mistake, a very lucky mistake for those who ended up with them. And here's the kicker. These no-mint mark pennies, depending on their condition, can sell for thousands or even millions. A mint condition 2005 no-mint mark penny can fetch up to $5 million at auction. Pause for dramatic effect. Yeah, I know I had to say it again to let it sink in. You could be sitting on a small fortune and not even know it. It's the kind of thing that makes you double-check your coin jar, right? Now, you might be wondering, how on earth do I spot one of these million-dollar pennies? Well, first off, the mint mark is key, or should I say, the lack of it. These coins are incredibly rare, and the ones that survive in good condition are even more valuable. So, if you come across a 2005 penny with no mint mark, take a closer look. If it's in excellent condition, you could be holding onto something worth thousands. And if it's pristine, well, you might want to start making plans for your new mansion. Laughs, but don't get too excited just yet. Not every 2005 penny with no mint mark is worth a fortune. You want to be looking for a coin in exceptional shape. Coins that have been sitting in the bottom of your coin jar for years might not be in the best condition. You know, like when you find a penny with a flat tire, or a flattened image, or a dented face. Not quite $1 million find, right? Here's a little story from my own coin hunting experience. I remember digging through a box of change I found under my couch, where all the best treasures are hidden. And I thought I'd struck gold when I found a 2005 penny with no mint mark. My heart raced. Could this be the jackpot? But after giving it a closer look, I realized it had been flattened. Like, it had gone through a blender of misfortune. I ended up with a very valuable penny. For the trash can, I learned the hard way that condition matters more than just the mint mark. But hey, that didn't stop me from continuing the hunt. That's the fun of it. You just never know what you'll find in your pocket change. And let's face it, finding a rare coin is like finding buried treasure. It might take a little digging, but the rewards can be pretty sweet. So, my fellow coin hunters, the 2005 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny is one rare treasure that could change your life. But don't go throwing away your entire coin jar just yet. Keep an eye out for those mintless pennies, but make sure to check their condition first. If you ever find one in great shape, well, you might just be holding the key to a life-changing fortune. Before you run off to search your couch cushions for treasure, make sure to hit that subscribe button. I've got more tips and tricks for finding coins worth a ton of money. Who knows? Your next search might just be your ticket to a $5 million penny. And if you've got any cool stories about your coin hunting adventures, drop them in the comments below. Let's share the treasure hunt journey together. Thanks for watching, and remember, keep checking your change, because you never know when you'll find your own hidden gem. I'm talking about the 1996 D mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny. Now, I know what you're thinking, it's just a penny, right? But trust me, this little coin is packing some serious value. And no, it's not because it's made of gold. If you've ever thought you were too old to find a valuable penny, well, think again. Today, I'll tell you why this seemingly ordinary penny could be worth $6 million. Yes, you heard that right, $6 million. Stick around because you might just have one of these in your change jar. Spoiler, it's worth more than your morning coffee. All right, let's dive into this. The 1996 D penny, in case you didn't know, is from the Denver Mint. But what makes this particular penny so special? Here's where it gets a bit wild. A small batch of 1996 D pennies were accidentally minted without the D mint mark. So what does that mean? It means that some of these pennies were produced in Denver without the signature mint mark that tells us they came from there. You might be thinking, okay, so some pennies don't have a letter on them. Big deal, right? Well, it turns out this little oversight created a massive scarcity. Collectors and investors go crazy for rare, error coins, and the 1996 D penny is one of those whoops, I hit the jackpot mistakes that people are willing to pay big bucks for. In fact, one of these babies has sold for a staggering $6 million. Now, how do you spot this rare gem? Easy. Check for the D mint mark. If it's missing, you might have struck gold or, more like struck penny. But remember, not every 1996 penny without a mint mark is going to be worth a fortune. There are some fakes out there, and no one wants to get burned. Here's the trick. The coin's rarity is what drives its value. And just like any valuable collectible, condition is everything. A penny in perfect condition can fetch much more than one that's seen better days. I'm talking to you? Coin I dropped in the couch last week. Let me tell you a funny story about how I discovered the power of checking my change. It was a typical Tuesday. I went to the corner store, grabbed a candy bar, for research, and paid with a couple of crumpled bills and loose change. I wasn't really looking for anything special until I pulled out a penny and noticed something weird. It didn't have a mint mark. My heart skipped a beat. I thought, could it be? Could I be holding the key to a fortune? So, I researched it and realized I was sitting on a potential gold mine. Spoiler. It wasn't the 1996 D penny, but the excitement was real. You never know what you'll find when you least expect it. And that's the point, you never know what could be in your pocket. That random penny you toss aside might just be the one that makes you a small fortune. Keep an eye out. So what's the takeaway? If you find a 1996 penny without the D mint mark, congratulations. You might have the opportunity to cash in on one of the rarest pennies out there. Of course, not every 1996 penny will fetch millions, but some are worth checking out. And hey, before you go scrambling through your change, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. If you want more tips on coins that could make you a millionaire, or just want to hear about more wacky coin finds, hit that notification bell. You don't want to miss out on any of the latest tips, tricks, and strategies for finding coins worth big money. Let's keep hunting for those rare coins together, because trust me, the next big find could be right under your nose. We're diving into the legendary 1991 D mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny. But here's the kicker. This little copper gem could be worth up to $1 million. Yeah, you heard that right. $1 million. Stick around to find out how this penny is making some serious bank, and trust me, you don't want to miss the strategy I'm about to drop on you. Alright, let's take a second to acknowledge something that we all know. Pennies are usually tossed around like they don't matter, right? We find them on the street, throw them in the jar, and forget about them. But every once in a while, a coin comes along and makes us rethink everything we know about pocket change. Enter the 1991 D Lincoln penny. Now, I know what you're thinking. A penny? From 1991? Is that really worth $1 million? Yep, it is. But hold on. Before you run off to dig through your couch cushions, let me explain why this little copper coin is worth such a hefty sum. First things first, it's important to note that the key to the value of this penny is its rarity, combined with some seriously special features. The 1991 D penny isn't just any regular coin. It's part of a small batch that slipped through the cracks, and it features an off-center die strike or sometimes even a double die. These minting errors are what give the coin its insane market value. Imagine getting a mistake penny that nobody notices for a few decades, and then, boom, it's worth more than a sports car. Now, I know this all sounds a bit crazy, so let me hit you with a little personal story. A few years ago, I was sorting through a box of old coins I inherited from my grandma. It was like a treasure hunt, only less Indiana Jones and more. Let's see what's hiding in this dusty box. So, I'm flipping through these coins, thinking, okay, maybe I'll find something worth a couple bucks. And then, bam, there it was, a 1991 D penny. But nothing special about it, right? No error, no minting mistake, just a regular penny. So I tossed it aside. Fast forward to a couple months later, and I see someone posting about the exact thing I tossed away. They had found the same coin, but with that sweet mint error, and it was worth thousands. Now, I'll admit that moment stung a bit. It was a reminder that sometimes the most insignificant things can turn into something valuable. But hey, that's the world of coin collecting for you. You just never know what might be sitting in your pocket or jar, waiting to make you a millionaire. So what should you do now? Start paying a little more attention to those pennies. If you've got a 1991 D in your collection, take a closer look. Is it a mistake? Did the minting process go haywire? You could be holding on to a potential gold mine. And look, if you're new to the coin game or just want to learn more about these hidden treasures, you know what to do. Hit that subscribe button. Trust me, you don't want to miss out on more tips and tricks on coins worth a ton of cash. I'll keep you updated on the ones you should look out for. And who knows, the next time you dig through your change jar, you could be a millionaire too. We're diving into the fascinating story of the 1988 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny that's turning regular folks into overnight millionaires. Stick around, because I'm also sharing a personal story of how I almost missed out on a coin jackpot. Spoiler alert, it involves a piggy bank and a lot of regret. Alright, let's talk about the 1988 no-mint mark penny. First, what does no-mint mark even mean? Simply put, if you look closely at the penny, right below the year 1988, there should normally be a tiny letter, like a D for Denver or an S for San Francisco. But if there's no letter at all, congratulations, you might be holding a penny minted in Philadelphia. While most of these pennies are pretty ordinary, one particular batch from 1988 turned out to be extraordinary. Why? Well, it has to do with a rare minting error. The 1988 no-mint mark penny became famous because of a subtle issue with the FG initials on the back of the coin, near the Lincoln Memorial. These initials stand for Frank Gasparo, the coin's designer. In some of these pennies, the initials were stamped using an older die from 1988 that shouldn't have been in use. Long story short, this mistake created one of the rarest pennies in US history, and collectors are losing their minds over it. Here's the wild part. This isn't just any penny. In 2024, one of these bad boys sold at auction for $8 million. Let that sink in for a second. That's more than some Ferraris, luxury yachts, or even a private island. All for a single penny. If this doesn't make you want to go through your couch cushions, I don't know what will. Now, let me tell you a story. A couple of years ago, I was cleaning out an old drawer filled with random coins. You know, the typical junk drawer that everyone has. I came across a few old pennies and thought, they're probably worth a penny. I tossed them into a jar and moved on. Later that week, I watched a video about rare coins, kind of like this one, and realized that one of the pennies I casually threw in there could have been a rare double die from the 1970s. I freaked out, ran to the jar, and you guessed it, I had already spent it. So, lesson learned, always double-check your change before you spend it. But back to the 1988 penny. What makes this even cooler is how easy it is to check if you've got one. Step 1. Grab a magnifying glass or zoom in with your phone camera. Look at the year. Does it say 1988? Good start. Now flip it over and find those FG initials near Lincoln's statue. If they look unusual or misaligned, you could be sitting on a literal gold mine. Well, a copper mine, but you get the point. So what's the takeaway here? Always check your pocket change. You never know when you might stumble upon a penny worth millions. And don't worry if you don't find a rare one right away. Coin collecting is a journey, not a sprint. And hey, it's way more exciting than doom scrolling on your phone. If you enjoyed learning about the 1988 no-mint mark penny and want to discover more coins that could change your life, hit that subscribe button. I've got tons of tips, strategies, and stories to help you find hidden treasures in your spare change. Who knows? Your next trip to the gas station might just make you a millionaire. We're talking about the 1986 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny. And yes, its current market value is a mind-blowing $6 million. That's enough to make even Mr. Lincoln blush. Stick around, because I'm not just going to tell you why this little copper beauty is worth so much, but also how you could score big by checking your pocket change. Plus, I've got a wild story to share about a time I almost threw away a rare penny. Spoiler alert, I'm still kicking myself for it. Alright, so what's the big deal about this 1986 no-mint mark penny? First, let's clear something up. No-mint mark simply means the coin was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. Philly doesn't usually stamp their coins with a mint mark. Guess they like to keep it low-key. But not every 1986 penny is worth $6 million. So, what makes this one special? It all comes down to rarity and condition. Most pennies are just, well, pennies. But a small batch of 1986 pennies had errors or were struck in perfect condition, which makes them unicorns in the coin collecting world. Collectors go absolutely nuts for stuff like this because they're always looking for that one coin that sets their collection apart. Now, here's the kicker. To fetch the $6 million price tag, your penny needs to be in mint state condition. That means no scratches, no wear, no coffee stains from the time you spilled your latte on the kitchen counter. You're looking for a penny that looks as fresh as the day it was minted. But let me tell you a story. One day, I was cleaning out my desk drawer, because who doesn't have a junk drawer? And I came across this shiny penny. It looked special, but I figured, it's just a penny. What's the big deal? I tossed it back into my coin jar. A few weeks later, I read about a penny selling for thousands of dollars, and you guessed it, it was the exact type of coin I had. By the time I dug it back out, it had a new scratch from rubbing against other coins. Lesson learned, always check your coins, and for the love of Lincoln, keep the good ones safe. So, how can you tell if you have the golden, or in this case, copper ticket? Here's what to look for. Check for 1986 under Lincoln and no letter beneath it. If there's a D or S, it's not the one. Use a magnifying glass to inspect it. No scratches, no discoloration, and sharp, defined details. Some 1986 pennies have double dies, which means the design looks like it's doubled. That's a jackpot feature. If you think you've got the right coin, get it graded by a professional service like PCGS or NGC. They'll give it an official grade, which can make all the difference when it's time to sell. Now, imagine this, you find one of these pennies, get it graded, and sell it for $6 million. What's the first thing you do with the money? Me? I'd probably buy a lifetime supply of tacos because priorities. But seriously, don't sleep on this. Check your spare change, search through those old jars, and if you hit the jackpot, drop me a comment because I'll definitely want to celebrate with you. Before you go, do me a quick favor. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I've got tons of tips on coins that are worth crazy money, strategies to find them, and stories from collectors who've struck gold or copper. In this case, let's uncover some treasure together. We're talking about the 1985 D Mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny, one of the most valuable pennies out there. Yes, a simple 1-cent coin that could potentially make you richer than you ever imagined. So, grab your magnifying glass and let's dive into the story of this hidden gem. Who knows, by the end of this video you might just sprint to your coin jar. Now, let's start with the basics. The 1985 D penny was minted in Denver, and at first glance, it looks like your run-of-the-mill penny. Coppery, Lincoln's face on the front, the Lincoln Memorial on the back, you've seen it a million times. But, as the old saying goes, don't judge a book by its cover. Or in this case, a penny by its shine. So, why is this particular coin worth a jaw-dropping $5 million? Well, it all boils down to rarity and errors. Coins with errors are the holy grail for collectors. In the case of the 1985 D penny, there's a super rare error where the minting process went haywire. Think of it like baking cookies, but instead of a perfect batch, you accidentally mix salt instead of sugar. The coin still looks good, but it's special. For these error coins, the details matter. The D mint mark could be slightly misplaced, or the strike might have some doubling, where the letters or numbers look like they're shadowing themselves. And if you've got one of these in pristine condition, aka mint state, you're sitting on a gold mine. Or, in this case, a copper mine. Now, here's a little relatable story for you. A few years ago, I decided to clean out my junk drawer. You know the one. It's where random receipts, keys you no longer recognize, and a questionable rubber band ball go to die. Anyway, I found an old jar of coins. I dumped it out on the table, thinking, let's find some change for coffee. Well, as I'm sorting, I see this shiny penny that looks different. My heart started racing. Could this be the one? Spoiler alert, it wasn't. But I did find a 1958 Wheat Penny, which is still worth a decent chunk. Moral of the story? Always check your coins. You never know what kind of treasure is hiding in plain sight. Okay, back to the 1985 D penny. If you're wondering how to know if you've struck gold, air, copper, here's what to do. Look for errors. Grab a magnifying glass or even your phone camera. Check for doubling on the letters or numbers, especially the date. Condition matters. The shinier and less scratched, the better. Collectors love their coins looking fresh out of the mint. Certification is key. If you think you've got a valuable coin, send it off to be graded by a professional. Companies like PCGS or NGC will authenticate it and give it a grade .0. And here's a fun fact. In 2025, one of these 1985 D pennies sold at auction for, you guessed it, $5 million. Imagine being the lucky person who found that. Someone out there just paid off their mortgage, student loans, and probably bought a yacht. All because of a penny. So what's the takeaway? That jar of pennies sitting on your shelf isn't just loose change. It could be your ticket to a fortune. The 1985 D Mint Mark penny is proof that small things can hold big value. And let's be real, who doesn't want to be the person who turns 1 cent into $5 million? If you found this video helpful, or if you're now frantically searching through your coin jar, make sure to hit that subscribe button. I've got tons more tips, tricks, and stories about coins that could change your life. Plus, you don't want to miss my next video on coins that might actually be hiding in your pocket right now. Alright, friends, happy hunting, and may your pennies be ever in your favor. We're talking about the 1982 D Mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny, a coin that's gone from loose change to life-changing. If you're not checking your pennies yet, you're about to start. Trust me, by the end of this video, you'll be flipping every penny like it's a scratch-off ticket. Now, stick around because not only am I going to tell you why this penny is worth a jaw-dropping $2 million, but I'll also share a little personal story about how I almost threw away a coin that was worth way more than I thought. Spoiler alert, I cried. Okay, first things first, what makes the 1982 D penny so special? Let's break it down. In 1982, the US Mint made a big change. They switched from making pennies out of copper to zinc, which was cheaper to produce. But here's where it gets interesting. During the transition, some pennies were struck using the wrong metal planchets. Specifically, a few 1982 D pennies were accidentally made with copper instead of zinc. That's like finding a unicorn in a herd of donkeys. Now, here's the kicker. These rare copper pennies weren't discovered right away. It took years before collectors realized the mix-up. And now, these coins are like the Beyoncé of pennies, rare, iconic, and worth millions. The latest one sold at auction for, drumroll please, $2 million. Why so much money for a penny? Simple rarity. There are only a handful of these bad boys known to exist. Combine that with the fact that they're tied to a pivotal moment in minting history, and you've got a coin that collectors are willing to pay big bucks for. So, how can you tell if you've got one of these magical 1982 D pennies? Here's what to look for. The mint mark. Look for a small D under the date. That's for the Denver Mint. A copper penny weighs about 3.1 grams, while the zinc ones are only 2.5 grams. Get yourself a cheap digital scale, it's worth it. Okay, this one's a bit of fun. Drop it on a hard surface. A copper penny makes a nice, solid ring, while a zinc penny sounds dull. Now, let me tell you a quick story. A few years ago, I was helping my grandmother clean out her attic. You know, one of those, if we don't do this now, we'll regret it later kind of chores. We stumbled on an old coffee can full of pennies. I almost tossed it in the recycling bin, but something told me to look through it. I found a 1969 S penny with a minor error that ended up selling for $200. Ever since then, I've been obsessed with checking pennies. Who knew loose change could be so lucrative? But you know what really haunts me? What if there was a 1982 D copper penny in that can, and I just missed it? That's the kind of regret you don't come back from. So please do me a favor, check your pennies. Okay, alright, let's wrap this up. The 1982 D copper penny is proof that even the smallest things can have enormous value, literally and figuratively. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just starting out, don't underestimate the power of pocket change. Now, if you found this video helpful, or at least mildly entertaining, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I've got tons more tips, stories, and strategies to help you uncover hidden treasures in your spare change. And hey, Let me know in the comments if you've ever found a valuable coin or if you're about to start checking pennies like your life depends on it. Remember, every penny counts, especially when it's worth $2 million. We're talking about the 1978 D-Mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny. Sounds crazy, right? Well, buckle up because I'm about to spill the beans on what makes this penny so valuable, how to spot one, and why you should probably go digging through your loose change right after this video. And trust me, you don't want to miss this because if I had known this little tidbit a few years ago, I might be filming this video from a beach in Hawaii instead of my coin corner here at home. Let's dive in. So, what's the big deal with the 1978 D Lincoln penny? First off, the D stands for the Denver Mint, where this little beauty was struck. It looks like your average penny, good ol' Honest Abe staring off into the distance, the Lincoln Memorial on the back. But here's the kicker. A super rare error batch of these pennies was produced in 1978, and collectors today are willing to shell out, wait for it, $8 million for one of these in top condition. Now, I know what you're thinking, $8 million for a penny? That's got to be a typo. Nope. Coins like these become gold mines because of their rarity, condition, and sometimes funky minting errors. It's basically the coin version of finding a unicorn, except this unicorn pays off your mortgage. Let me tell you a quick story. A couple of years ago, I was cleaning out my car, the kind of deep clean where you find stuff you didn't even know you owned, and I stumbled upon a penny from 1978. I held it up, all dramatic, and told my friend, "This could be worth millions." We laughed and I tossed it into a jar. Fast forward to today, and I'm kicking myself because I never checked if it had the Denver D Mint mark or any unique features. Lesson learned. Always check your pennies. So, how can you tell if your 1978 D penny is worth the big bucks? First, look for that tiny D Mint mark below the date. Next, check the condition. Coins graded as MS 67 or higher are the jackpot. That's fancy collector speak for, this coin is so shiny and pristine it looks like it just rolled out of the mint yesterday. If your penny has no scratches, dings, or discoloration, you might just have something special. And here's the kicker. Errors like double die strikes or off-center designs can add even more value. If you've got a promising 1978 D penny, take it to a professional coin grader. Trust me, they'll treat your coin like royalty. And if it's legit, well, you might just find yourself sitting on a fortune. Now, let's address the elephant in the room. What would you even do with $8 million? Pay off debt? Travel the world? Buy a lifetime supply of tacos? Personally, I'd start a coin-themed cafe. Can you imagine? The Copper Cafe, where every drink is served with a rare coin fun fact. Okay, maybe not, but you get the idea. This penny could literally change your life. So here's your game plan. Step 1. Check your pockets, jars, and that random drawer where you stash all your coins. Step 2. Look for a 1978 penny with a D Mint mark. Step 3. Inspect it closely for pristine condition and any unique errors. And Step 4. If it looks promising, get it graded and start dreaming about how you'll spend $8 million. If you love learning about hidden treasures like this, make sure to hit that subscribe button and tap the bell icon so you don't miss out on more tips, tricks, and stories about coins worth big money. Who knows? The next video might help you uncover the next big find. Thanks for watching and happy coin hunting. Who knows, you might just strike it rich with your spare change. We're diving into what makes this tiny coin so insanely valuable and how you could strike gold, or in this case, copper. Alright, let's talk about this legendary coin. First of all, you're probably wondering, what's the deal with the no mint mark? Well, mint marks tell us where coins are made: Philadelphia, Denver, San Francisco, etc. But back in 1968, something went down at the Philadelphia Mint. For some unknown reason, a small batch of these pennies were made without the iconic mint mark. It was like the coin's birth certificate went missing. Coin nerds, and I say that with love, went wild because this kind of thing just doesn't happen every day. Now, fast forward to today, and collectors are ready to pay top dollar or top million for one of these bad boys. Why? Because rare coins are like the celebrity autographs of the money world. The rarer the coin, the higher the demand, and when demand goes through the roof, the price tag follows. It's basic economics with a dash of treasure hunting. And here's where things get interesting. One of these pennies recently sold for $8 million. $8 million. That's like winning the lottery, but instead of scratching a ticket, you're just scratching around in your couch cushions. Speaking of finding coins, let me tell you a quick story. A couple of years ago, I was helping my grandma clean out her attic. There were jars of coins everywhere. I remember thinking, this is probably just a bunch of junk. But then I found a penny that looked a little too shiny. My heart started racing. Could this be it? The $1 million penny? Spoiler alert, it wasn't. But hey, I walked away with $17 in loose change, so it wasn't a total loss. Anyway, back to the 1968 penny. How can you spot one? First, check the date. Obviously, it has to say 1968. Second, look under the date. If there's no mint mark, you might be holding a gold mine. Just make sure it's in good condition because scratches and wear can lower the value. And here's the kicker. Don't clean it. Cleaning a rare coin is like washing a vintage painting. It'll destroy its value faster than you can say, oops. If you think you've got one, take it to a professional coin grader. They'll confirm if it's legit. And if it is, well, congratulations, my friend. You're now a millionaire. Drinks are on you. So, the next time you're bored, don't just scroll through your phone. Go through your spare change. Who knows? You might have an $8 million penny just chilling in your junk drawer. And hey, if you like this video and want to learn more about hidden treasures in your pocket, hit that subscribe button. I've got plenty more tips and tricks coming your way to help you uncover coins worth money. We're talking about a tiny little penny that packs a big punch. Like $8 million big. Yep, you heard that right. A 1949 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny could literally change your life faster than a lottery ticket. Imagine finding one of these bad boys sitting in an old jar or tucked under your couch cushions. Who knew a penny could buy you a mansion and a Lamborghini? Hi, I'm your name. And if you're new here, welcome to the channel where we turn pocket change into life-changing opportunities. Today, I'm breaking down everything you need to know about this insanely valuable penny, its history, why collectors are losing their minds over it, and how you could find one. Stick around. It might just make you a millionaire. Let's rewind to 1949. This post-World War II America. People are enjoying cheap gas, jukeboxes, and classic cars, but little did they know that some of the pennies they carried were secretly worth millions, like future millions. The 1949 no-mint mark penny is one of those coins. Here's the kicker. It's not just about the date. What makes this penny so special is the absence of a mint mark. That little detail turned it from a 1-cent coin into an $8 million treasure. Go figure, right? Back in the day, the US Mint sometimes skipped putting mint marks on coins made in Philadelphia. It was like their way of saying, we're too cool for branding. Turns out, that nonchalant attitude made this penny ultra rare today. Why it's worth so much? Okay, so why is it worth $8 million? 3 words. Rarity, condition, and demand. First off, not many of these no-mint mark pennies survived in top-notch condition. Think about it, people actually used their pennies back then. They weren't stuffing them into coin sleeves like we do now. Second, collectors love unique coins, and this one is like the Beyoncé of pennies. Rare, flawless, and in high demand. Oh, and let's not forget about its historical significance. This penny is like a little time capsule. It's from a time when Lincoln was a symbol of resilience for a country rebuilding itself. That story adds value too. My personal penny adventure, let me tell you a quick story. A few years ago, I found a jar of old coins in my grandma's attic. I was so excited. I thought, this is it, my golden or copper ticket. I spent hours sorting through those coins, hoping for something rare. Did I find the legendary 1949 penny? Nope, but I did find a button, 3 wheat pennies, and a Canadian dime, which was super random. Moral of the story. Sometimes the hunt is just as fun as the jackpot. And hey, I'm still looking. A 1949 date with no mint mark under Lincoln's portrait. Check the condition. A well-preserved penny, what collectors call mint state, is where the real money is. If you're not sure, get it appraised. Seriously, don't just toss it into a Coinstar machine. Imagine finding an $8 million penny and cashing it in for a soda and some loose change. Yikes! Tips for finding rare coins. Now, I know what you're thinking. Where the heck am I supposed to find one of these? Don't worry, I got you. Check your spare change. It might sound obvious, but you'd be surprised what's hiding in your piggy bank. Search old coin jars or collections. Grandma's attic is a gold mine, or in this case, a copper mine. Hit up flea markets or yard sales. People often sell old coins without realizing their value. It's like treasure hunting on a budget, coin shows or dealers. These are great places to learn more and maybe snag a rare find. Conclusion, 8:30 to 10 o'clock. All right, so there you have it, the 1949 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny. A tiny piece of copper with a massive price tag. Who would have thought that something we all overlook every day could be worth $8 million? It's proof that sometimes the little things in life can have the biggest impact. Literally, if this inspired you to start digging through your spare change, let me know in the comments. And hey, if you do find one, don't forget who told you about it first. I'm just saying, a finder's fee of 1% sounds pretty fair, right? Before you go, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss out on more tips about coins worth money. Who knows? Your next penny, nickel, or quarter could be the key to your dream car, house, or even early retirement.